Hi there! In this video, we will discuss the summary of the 39th chapter of El Filibusterismo, or the Reign of Greed, written by Dr. José Rizal, titled Conclusion. We will also study the important events, characters, settings, and lessons found in this chapter. Listen and watch carefully, as you will learn a lot from this historical work by Rizal. Let's begin. Simoun, wounded and hiding from the authorities, was staying at Padre Florentino's house. One day, Padre Florentino received a telegram from the lieutenant of the civil guards, warning that there was an order to arrest a Spaniard hiding in his house, dead or alive. Thinking it was Don Tiburcio, Doña Victorina's husband, who was being referred to, Don Tiburcio left the house to escape the authorities. However, it was actually Simoun they were looking for. Padre Florentino welcomed Simoun into his home without hesitation, even though he didn't fully understand the jeweler's situation. He showed Simoun kindness and cared for him, but Simoun refused to be treated by any doctor other than Don Tiburcio. As Padre Florentino tended to him, he began to reflect on how Simoun's life had changed and wondered why Simoun had chosen to hide there, especially since Simoun had once looked down on him. Facing his dire situation, Simoun decided to take poison to avoid being captured by the authorities. As death approached, Simoun revealed his true identity to Padre Florentino as Crisostomo Ibarra and shared his story of returning to the Philippines after 13 years of absence. He recounted his dreams, his desire for revenge against those who ruined his life, and his plans to start a revolution to free the country. He asked the priest if what he had done was right and why God had not helped him in his mission. Padre Florentino told Simoun that God does not support a cause filled with evil and violence. According to the priest, true freedom is achieved through goodness, love, and sacrifice, not through revenge and deceit. Instead of evil, noble, and righteous actions are needed to attain the country's freedom. Simoun accepted his mistakes and died with peace in his heart. After Simoun's death, Padre Florentino prayed for his soul. He took the box of jewels and treasures Simoun had left behind and threw it into the sea from a cliff. By throwing away the treasures, Padre Florentino symbolized the rejection of greed and the hope that in the future, when the time is right, such wealth would be used for a just and holy purpose. Now, let's move on to the important events in this chapter. Padre Florentino received a telegram from the lieutenant of the civil guards stating that there was an order to arrest a Spaniard hiding in his house, dead or alive. Don Tiburcio thought it was him, so he left to escape the authorities. Padre Florentino accepted Simoun into his home without question, even though he didn't know the real reason for Simoun's escape. Simoun, wounded and weak, was cared for by the priest but refused treatment from any doctor other than Don Tiburcio. Simoun decided to take poison to avoid being captured by the authorities. Before his death, he revealed his true identity as Crisostomo Ibarra and shared his plans for revenge and revolution to free the Philippines. Padre Florentino told Simoun that freedom is not achieved through violence and evil, but through goodness, sacrifice, and love. Simoun accepted his mistakes and died with peace in his heart. After Simoun's death, Padre Florentino took the box of treasures Simoun had left and threw it into the sea as a symbol of rejecting greed and a sign that the wealth would only be used for a just and holy purpose in the future. Important characters: Padre Florentino, a Filipino priest who accepted and cared for Simoun in his home. He also listened to Simoun's final confession and threw his treasures into the sea as a symbol of rejecting greed. Simoun, the wounded jeweler hiding from the authorities. In this chapter, he revealed his true identity as Crisostomo Ibarra and his plans for revenge. Lieutenant of the Civil Guards, the officer who sent the telegram to Padre Florentino to inform him of the order to arrest a Spaniard hiding in the priest's house. Don Tiburcio, the husband of Doña Victorina, who had been hiding in Padre Florentino's home. He cared for the wounded Simoun when he arrived at the priest's house. Thinking he was the one being sought by the authorities, he left and hid in fear of being caught. Let us now proceed to the setting of this chapter. The setting took place at Padre Florentino's house. Here are some of the lessons, messages, or implications shown in this chapter. The chapter teaches that true freedom is not achieved through violence or revenge, but through goodness, sacrifice, and love. Padre Florentino explains that a cause rooted in evil cannot succeed, and only noble actions can lead to genuine liberation. It also highlights the emptiness of wealth and power when used for selfish or destructive purposes. Simoun's treasures, meant for his plans of revenge, are thrown into the sea by Padre Florentino, symbolizing that material riches have no value unless used for a just and moral cause. Finally, the chapter shows the importance of accepting one's mistakes to find peace and redemption. In his final moments, Simoun reflects on his actions, acknowledges his errors, and dies with a sense of calm. This teaches that self-reflection and humility are essential for inner peace, even in the face of death. And that concludes the 39th chapter of El Filibusterismo, titled Conclusion. What have you learned from this chapter? Share your answers in the comments. We also encourage you to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay updated with our future videos. Until next time, thank you for watching.